Good morning, eighth graders. This is Esperel, and I'm here with your recap of instruction for Monday and Tuesday, October 26th and 27th. Hopefully, you're having an awesome Red Ribbon Week. You're looking forward to Halloween. It's going to be a full moon, and Halloween's on a Saturday. Woohoo! Don't you guys love all of Mrs. Black's geology jokes, plate tectonics jokes? My gosh, who knew there were so many? They're fantastic. Anyway, our recap for last week begins now. As usual, we did our warm-ups, and then we reviewed divergent boundaries. So if you'll remember, divergent boundaries are where plates pull apart. And this happens in a couple of different places. So under the ocean, when two oceanic plates pull apart, like in the Atlantic Ocean, you get a divergent boundary where seafloor spreading is occurring. And at that boundary, there's a constant upwelling of magma that forms new crust and then pushes it out as more comes up underneath it. That's where new crust is formed. And that is the place where there's a large underwater mountain range called the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Harry Hess discovered all of this in the 1950s when he was mapping the mapping the ocean floor with newly available sonar technology. By now in your project, you should have completed the part about divergent boundaries. So remember, your project will have a section for each of the three types of boundaries. The first one is divergent, where you need to explain what a divergent boundary is. You need to put arrows in showing the way the plates are moving. You need to describe the landforms that can occur at a divergent boundary, depending on whether it's oceanic crust or continental crust. And you need to include real life pictures of those geological formations. And then you also need to describe how Newton's laws apply in that situation. And remember, you got to keep it all really tight and really succinct, because you only get a one-page infographic for your whole project. So you can't spend a ton of time on text and putting unnecessary information in there. But by now, you should be done with the divergent boundaries part. And so in class, we moved on and began talking about convergent boundaries. So if divergent boundaries are pulling apart, convergent boundaries are pushing together. And then depending on the kinds of plates, you get different landforms. So review those pages to find out what those landforms are. There's a really nice table in there that outlines them for you. And then at the end of class today, we gave you time to work on your project. So you should be able to pretty much do the convergent boundary part, or at least have a good idea of what you're going to do. And we'll come back and hit convergent boundaries a little more later on in this week before we move on to transform boundaries. So just remember, convergent boundaries are where they are colliding, and depending on the types of plates, different things happen. So be sure to look up that information on your pages and be sure you have it all correct for your project. If you have any questions, please see your teacher. Please stay on top of your project. Let us know if there's anything that we can do to be of assistance, or if you have trouble accessing Canva. Please also remember there is a grading rubric, and we expect you to use it. And you only get one shot at this. It's a summative, but there is a very specific grading rubric. So you do not get a second chance. There is no revising and editing. Get it right the first time. All right, guys. Hope this gets you where you need to be. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy Halloween. And enjoy yourselves. Be safe. And we'll see you next time.